We all make decisions every single day. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, our lives are a series of choices. Big ones, small ones, they shape our lives. Some decisions are so routine we barely notice them, while others can change the course of our future. But how often do we really think about our thinking? How often do we pause to consider the process behind our choices? That's where critical thinking comes in. It's a skill that allows us to analyze, evaluate, and improve our thought processes. It's about engaging your brain before you engage your mouth. It's about taking a moment to reflect before you respond. It's about pausing before you act. This pause can make all the difference in the outcome of our actions. Critical thinking isn't about being critical. It's not about finding fault or being negative. It's about being a detective in your own life. It's about investigating, exploring, and understanding the deeper layers of any situation. It's about asking questions, digging deeper, and not taking things at face value. It's about being curious and inquisitive. We live in a world saturated with information. Every day we're bombarded with data, news, and opinions from countless sources. How do we sift through it all? How do we determine what's true, what's relevant, and what's worth our attention? Critical thinking gives us the tools to evaluate information. It helps us to discern the quality and credibility of the information we encounter. It helps us determine what's reliable, what's relevant, and what's just noise. It allows us to filter out the distractions and focus on what truly matters. And in a world that's constantly trying to sell us something, that's more important than ever. Advertisements, social media, and even news outlets often have their own agendas. This isn't about being skeptical of everything. It's not about distrusting every piece of information we come across. It's about having a healthy sense of curiosity. It's about being open-minded yet discerning, questioning yet thoughtful. By cultivating critical thinking, we empower ourselves to make better decisions. We become more thoughtful, more reflective, and ultimately more effective in our lives. So, let's embrace the power of thought. Let's take the time to think deeply, to question, and to understand. Because in the end, our thoughts shape our reality. And with the power of critical thinking, we can shape a better, more informed, and more fulfilling life. Imagine you're scrolling through social media. You see a headline that makes you angry. Do you immediately react, share it without a second thought, or do you pause? That pause is critical thinking in action. It's about taking a breath and looking beyond the surface. What's the source of this information? Is it credible? Are there other perspectives to consider? These are the questions critical thinkers ask. It's about looking for evidence, not just opinions. It's about being open to different viewpoints, even if they challenge our own. Critical thinking is about being aware of our own biases. We all have them. It's how our brains work. But by recognizing our biases, we can start to overcome them. This leads to more informed decisions, both for ourselves and the world around us. Critical thinking isn't just some abstract concept. It's a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned and honed. It's about asking the right questions, evaluating information objectively, and thinking for yourself. It's about taking the reins of your own life and making decisions that are grounded in reason and logic. In the next section, we'll explore some practical techniques to enhance your critical thinking skills. These are tools you can use every day, in every aspect of your life. Because when you think critically, you live intentionally. You're no longer just reacting to the world around you. You're shaping it. From the moment we wake up, we're bombarded with decisions. What to eat, what to wear, how to spend our time. Some decisions are small, some are life-changing, but they all have consequences, and the quality of our decisions directly impacts the quality of our lives. That's why critical thinking is so crucial. It's the foundation of good decision-making. It allows us to move beyond gut feelings and emotional reactions. It helps us analyze our options, weigh the potential outcomes, and make choices that are in our best interests. Think about a time you made a decision you later regretted. Maybe you made a purchase on impulse, or said yes to something you didn't really want to do. Now imagine approaching that same situation with critical thinking. Section 2. The pitfalls of autopilot. When we're not thinking critically, we're essentially on autopilot. Our minds drift and we go through the motions without truly engaging with our surroundings or the tasks at hand. This state of mind can be comfortable because it requires less effort, but it comes with significant risks. We react instinctively based on our emotions, biases, and past experiences. These automatic responses can sometimes serve us well, especially in familiar situations. However, they can also lead us astray when we encounter new or complex challenges. This can lead to impulsive decisions that we may regret later. For instance, a hasty reaction in a heated moment might damage a relationship, or a snap judgment at work could result in a costly mistake. The consequences of these actions can linger, affecting our personal and professional lives. It's like driving a car without paying attention to the road. You might be able to coast along for a while, relying on muscle memory and routine, but the lack of awareness increases the risk of an accident. You might get away with it for a while, but eventually you're going to crash. The metaphorical crash could be a minor setback or a major life-altering event, depending on the circumstances. Critical thinking helps us take control of the wheel. By engaging our minds and questioning our assumptions, we can navigate life's challenges more effectively. It allows us to slow down, assess the situation, and make conscious choices. This deliberate approach can lead to better outcomes, as we consider the potential consequences and weigh our options carefully. It's about being present in the moment and making decisions that are aligned with our values and goals. Mindfulness and reflection can help us stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. Without critical thinking, we're vulnerable to manipulation. Advertisers, influencers, and even well-meaning friends and family can sway our decisions if we're not careful. We're more likely to be swayed by advertising, peer pressure, and even our own internal biases. These influences can lead us to make choices that don't align with our true desires or best interests. This can lead us down a path that doesn't serve us, leaving us feeling lost and unfulfilled. By cultivating critical thinking skills, we can chart a course that reflects our authentic selves and leads to a more satisfying and meaningful life. Section 3. Navigating the information overload. We live in an age of information overload. Every day, we're bombarded with news, opinions, and data from countless sources. It can be overwhelming, even paralyzing. How do we make sense of it all? How do we separate fact from fiction, truth from spin? Critical thinking provides a framework for navigating this complex landscape. It empowers us to question everything, to think for ourselves, and to form our own informed opinions. It allows us to be active consumers of information, rather than passive recipients. By engaging in critical thinking, we become more discerning, more resilient, and ultimately, more free. We're no longer at the mercy of external forces. We have the power to choose our own path based on reason, evidence, and our own internal compass. Section 1. Sharpening your mind. Critical thinking isn't something you're born with. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Just like we exercise our bodies to stay physically fit, we need to exercise our minds to stay mentally sharp. One of the best ways to enhance your critical thinking is simply to be more mindful. Pay attention to your thought processes. Notice when you're jumping to conclusions, making assumptions, or letting your emotions cloud your judgment. Once you're aware of these patterns, you can start to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support this belief? This simple act of questioning can make a world of difference. Section 2. Question everything. Don't accept everything you hear or read at face value. Whether it's a news article, a social media post, or even a conversation with a friend, get in the habit of asking questions. Who's the source? What's their agenda? Is there another side to this story? Look for evidence to support the claims being made. Is it credible evidence? Is it biased? Don't be afraid to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Remember, critical thinking is about thinking for yourself, not blindly accepting what others tell you. This might seem like a lot of work, but it becomes second nature with practice. The more you question, the more you'll start to see through the noise and get to the heart of the matter. Section 3. Embrace the discomfort. Critical thinking can be uncomfortable. It challenges our beliefs, forces us to confront our biases, and sometimes leads us to conclusions we don't like. But that's okay. Growth rarely happens in our comfort zones. Embrace the discomfort. Be willing to be wrong. Be open to changing your mind when presented with new information. The goal isn't to be right all the time. It's to be as informed and objective as possible. Remember, critical thinking is a journey, not a destination. There's always more to learn, more to question, and more to discover. So keep your mind open, your curiosity alive, and never stop asking why. Section 1. The case of the viral video. Imagine this. You're scrolling through social media and come across a video. It's shocking, maybe even outrageous. People are sharing it left and right, outraged. It confirms everything you've ever thought about a certain issue. This is critical thinking put to the test. Before you hit that share button, pause. Ask yourself, what do I actually know about this video? Where did it come from? Is it edited? Could it be taken out of context? It's easy to get swept up in the emotion of a situation, especially online. Take a moment to investigate. Look for news articles or reports from reputable sources. See if the information is being reported elsewhere and how it's being framed. You might find the video is misleading or even completely false. Let's say you receive 2 job offers. One offers a higher salary but requires you to relocate to a new city. The other pays less but allows you to stay put. This is a big decision with long-term implications. Critical thinking helps you weigh the pros and cons of each option. Consider your career goals. Which job offers better growth potential? Think about your finances. Can you afford to relocate? What about your personal life? How will this move impact your family and friends? Don't just focus on the immediate benefits. Think long-term. Consider the potential challenges and rewards of each opportunity. Talk to people in your network who've made similar decisions. Gather as much information as possible to make an informed choice. Critical thinking isn't just for major life decisions, it's a valuable tool for everyday situations. Imagine you're at the grocery store, bombarded with product claims. Low fat, organic, all natural. These labels are everywhere. Critical thinking encourages you to look beyond the marketing hype. Read the nutritional labels. Compare ingredients. Research different brands. Don't be swayed by fancy packaging or buzzwords. Make choices that align with your health goals. Or maybe you're planning a vacation. Should you book a package deal or plan it yourself? Critical thinking helps you weigh the costs and benefits of each option. Research flights and accommodations, read reviews, and consider your priorities. Do you value flexibility or convenience? We've all heard the saying, knowledge is power. But in today's world, it's not enough just to have information. We're flooded with it every day. The real power lies in our ability to think critically about that information, to question, analyze, and evaluate before we react. Critical thinking is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it gets. It's about engaging with the world around us with a discerning eye, a questioning mind, and an open heart. It's about not taking things at face value, but digging deeper, looking for evidence, and being willing to change our minds. Every decision we make, big or small, shapes our lives. By embracing critical thinking, we take control of that process. We're no longer passive passengers, but active drivers, steering our lives in the direction we want to go. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, critical thinking is our compass. It helps us navigate through the noise and confusion, providing clarity and direction. It guides us toward better decisions, both for ourselves and for the world around us. Whether we're choosing a career path, making a financial decision, or simply deciding how to spend our time, critical thinking helps us weigh our options and consider the consequences. It empowers us to be informed citizens, engaged community members, and compassionate human beings. By thinking critically, we can better understand the issues that affect our communities and take meaningful action to address them. When we think critically, we're less likely to be swayed by misinformation, manipulation, or prejudice. We become more discerning consumers of information, able to distinguish between fact and fiction. We're more likely to see multiple perspectives, to empathize with others, and to find common ground. This ability to understand and appreciate different viewpoints is crucial in a world that is increasingly interconnected and diverse. This leads to more meaningful connections, more productive conversations, and ultimately, a more just and equitable society. When we engage in thoughtful dialogue and collaboration, we can create solutions that benefit everyone. So the next time you're faced with a decision, big or small, remember the power of critical thinking. Ask questions. Challenge assumptions. Don't be afraid to dig deeper and seek out the truth. Be open to new information. Embrace the opportunity to learn and grow. Knowledge is power, and the more we know, the better equipped we are to make informed decisions. Embrace the discomfort of uncertainty. It's natural to feel uneasy when we're faced with the unknown, but it's in these moments of uncertainty that we have the greatest potential for growth and discovery. Because in the words of the great Socrates, the unexamined life is not worth living. This timeless wisdom reminds us of the importance of self-reflection and continuous learning. Let's live lives worthy of examination, lives filled with curiosity, intention, and the courage to think for ourselves. By doing so, we can create a world of possibilities where everyone has the opportunity to thrive and succeed.